Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode on Laid Back to the Atrozinga podcast. Our topic for this week is healthy and unhealthy competition. Our guest for this week is a resident doctor in internal medicine in the United States. Hello, Dr. Kene. Welcome to the show.
Hey, hi, Arinze. Thanks for having me.
My brother, how you doing? This is your first podcast, right?
Yeah, official first podcast, yes.
Okay, for context, for those who are listening who don't know the story, Kene and I have known each other since we were 5 years old, I think. So actually, we went to the same primary school, the same secondary school, and the same university. Actually, so practically we've been together in the same vicinity from childhood to adulthood. If I'm being honest. So, but in that context, we've actually competed against each other in academic sports. So, I think you're the best person to have this conversation with because we've already competed a lot in life together. So, let me start with the football. Back in primary school, I organized a lot of football matches. I think it's my thing. We played in the same football teams, competed against each other, even in academics as well.
Yeah.
How important do you think competition is to life?
Well, I feel like competition is inevitable. Like, it's ingrained in human psyche to actually try to pit themselves against other people to just see how they measure up.
Yeah.
Like, for example, you mentioned primary school. I remember the first day I went to a primary school. During the break period, everybody came out to watch Arinze. Arinze was the baller. Arinze Chief. I remember Arinze Chief and then some other guys then.
Yeah.
The ball. So if they're about to choose five aside or whatever, Arinze are number one on the team. Though. So you know who is the top dog and who to come up against to show yourself. So you just have to it makes you want to practice more at home to improve so that when you come to school you perform and shine. There's something good, and especially as guys and boys then always against each other. So I feel competition when handled the right way will actually help you to improve, to better yourself. So I think competition is natural. It's natural, to be honest.
Yeah. Now that you mentioned Chief and but you know the funny thing, yeah. I grew up playing football with the right foot, and I don't think I've ever mentioned this to you, but you play with the left, and Chief tried as much as possible to play with the right and left. You two were the people that actually made me to start trying out to use my left foot. But I don't think I mentioned it because the competition is good because it actually teaches you something. And eventually, I became so good with the left and right to the point that people started thinking I was a left-footed player. I'm not. But it was in primary school because I saw you are just left-footed. Stephen was trying as much as possible to use right and left. So I tried to see, okay, you know what? Let me since this guy, and I didn't realize you had a powerful shot with the left foot. Yeah. And I noticed other left-footed players, Raul, they have very powerful shots. It's like left-footed people actually have more power in their shot than the right-footed players. So I decided to learn how to use both feet, so the competition in that aspect is really, really, really good for anyone out there. Yeah. But then when it links to academics, do you think it actually improves one's ability as well in academics?
So I feel the point is, for example, in football, right, is a skill, trying to develop yourself. So competition better, right? But when it comes to academics, in Nigeria setting, we reward the best students, right? There's nothing like this, let's say it was the second best. I remember one time, I came fourth, right, and
primary or secondary school?
No, secondary school, or something like that. And then they usually reward the top three or something like that. They announce them top three, and then the fourth is nothing, right? I came fourth out of a class of 80, but I was crying home, right? Why? Yeah. Because ideally, in a normal world, you should feel proud of yourself. Yeah. But because it's a numbers game, and you're either the top or you're nothing, right?
Yeah.
It makes you feel you're not you're not smart enough or you didn't perform enough. So I feel in academic is different because especially growing up in Nigeria, we reward it's a numerical system. Yeah. You're either the first or you're nothing,
But do you think that's a good thing? Do you think now, because now if you notice, there's this belief that parents are trying as much as possible to, or the society trying to push, which let parents know that everybody is a winner. So do you think that's better compared to what we had back then?
So I feel like back then, you tell me, first of all, like our class then was like, was it like A class or there was a class, our class was like E class. E class was for the best students, right?
Yeah.
So I think like the E is different, and we didn't even know what happens in other classes.
We didn't care.
We didn't even care at all. Like, and E is the first class. When you enter that door, bottom left, that is where we had the first class.
Yeah.
And remember, like primary 5 had like, how many classes? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like lots of them.
The classes were designed based on the alphabets in a primary school.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, E, K, U, L, then N. Yeah.
But somehow, like the smartest ones, like
were in E. Yeah.
Were in E class, So, like I remember one time I was be asked to go and write correction on the test in another class. Like, can you imagine? Like,
oh my god!
It is I don't remember all these things. Yeah. So all those things are engraved in human brain. And mind you, the human brain is funny, right? Like some people develop faster than others, right?
Yeah.
So you see, like 2 10-year-olds. At some point, maybe one is like outperforming the other one, but maybe their brain or maybe their circumstance at home is not allowing them to
different,
yes, to get to the highest point. And that's sometimes you see people like when they like maybe travel abroad or do something, sound like becoming like
you realize that they're actually smart. Yeah.
Or what happened? It's just like you don't know what's going on at home, feeding, social problems and all that, financial problems. So also contribute to like kids, So I feel like that system somehow subconsciously still affects. Okay, look at that. Like the best students are going to federal, like from Ikulu, right? You can't say we all ended up federal.
Yeah.
Yes, and from federal, like so like okay, the top students will do like medicine or science courses or engineering. Guess where we all ended up? The same thing. So you see, like that mentality, like I think it was started when we were young and we followed through that. Like, but when you now come abroad, you see like it's entirely different. Like it's different. Like someone can be a plumber
and do well for himself.
And he's happy with his life, right? Someone can be something entirely different. So it kind of like changes your life perspective a bit, So looking back at the way we did it, I think it was a system that actually like propelled us like to try to like achieve whatever I want to achieve. To achieve more, like try to do better in tests, go the extra mile, all of that. I feel like it also like helps you develop the work ethic like early on. Yeah. So that when nobody's around to push you, you're pushing yourself.
You're pushing yourself. Yeah. You have a point. Because this thing I see these days, especially in sports, they try to make everybody believe that they're a winner. Maybe because I played in football teams.
Yeah.
I don't think it's healthy for any child who wants to be a professional athlete or footballer. Mm-hmm. You have to tell yourself, okay, you know what? I'm not at the top right now. The top seeded maybe like tennis player in my category is this young boy. What can I do to be better, to be in the top 10? I think it's better than telling every child, everybody's a winner. I'm not saying you should tell them they're losers. No. Because calling them losers can actually affect their mental health or make them start thinking low of themselves. No. Yes. But let them know that they can improve. Oh, you did well here, you did well there, but you can actually do better here. It makes it better. It sounds better to these kids to actually help them say, okay, do you know what? Yeah. Like, because whether we like it or not, I teach people now, and I know people do not forget people who encourage them when they were low. Yeah. What you tell them, they don't forget it because they will remember and say, oh, even when I started to try to give up, I tried to do this, I tried to do that. Dr. Kene was the person pushing me to tell myself, oh, I can actually finish this thing and become a doctor like him, or become a nurse, or become whatever I want to be. You see, the person will never forget it. But if you start telling them, oh, at this moment in time, you are at the bottom of your class, I don't think you ever make it. Trust me, they will hate you for life. They might not say it, but trust me, they will be praying bad prayers for you. They will never forget it.
I think like what you mentioned now, like it takes you to like look at people like for who they are to realize what they are good at. I feel like everybody's good at something, but it may not be what you're looking for. For example, I'll give you an example. You know, like my nephew, my niece, like recently, like they relocated to the UK, right? And then they were starting school. It was kind of like coming from Nigeria to UK and starting school. Like everybody already like speaks British English, like coming like different. So they're looking at you like, oh, like that bias that comes in, like like, come on, like you're not part of us and all that.
Yeah.
And then they were doing like some kind, and she was just quiet because like and then one day they were doing like like an art class, and then she drew, and everybody's mouth like dropped, because she was drawing at a level like was above everybody like there, right? So the teacher has now said, okay, this is something that you're excellent at. Like, so they were calling my sister on the phone, hey, look at what your daughter did, though. Like, So you see, they called her not because of she did well in maths or physics or whatever. And she's also like, okay, those on board. Yeah, they've seen something that she's like above, what I say. Someone may be not so good in school, but then when they play piano, like
they're good.
It's good, right? So I feel like that. Let's take it back to when we were kids, right?
Yeah.
What denotes excellence is your performance in school.
That's it.
If you're performing well, if you're not performing well in school, even if you're good in football or you're a dancer or like you're a good organizer or something, nobody even looks at those skills and I think to kind of hone them. You just say, oh, you're EBT volleyball.
Yeah, and that label sticks, and I don't like it.
Yeah, it sticks, which is not good. So I feel like nowadays, right, back in Nigeria, like the schools are trying to level everybody up and you're good.
Change it
and all that. So, but then you still have to like, that's not enough. You have to look at them and see what they are good at. Oh, you're good at this and this and this and this. I think we should like harness, like honing on this and this and this and this. That will be, everybody will contribute to society. Look at China, for example. There are people that they've seen that they are like from an early age, they start performing in like sports or whatever. You see them winning Olympic medals. It's not by you see scientists, you see like different facets. They're able to do that because they have like it's like they like I don't know how they do their things there, but like they start like acting very young, like trying to find out who's like good at what, and then try to like develop that like early on. But I know you also have to think about parents too. No parent wants to see a report card that their child is like the worst student in the class. And
it's moralizing.
After paying like school fees and everything, then your kid is like so it's what it is. But but I feel like that's when competition like try to like be the best may not be so like wonderful.
Yeah, but I think that's the difference between studying in the West and compared to what we had back home. The teachers in the UK could actually highlight, that your niece is so good at drawing.
Yeah.
But in when we at least during our own time, there was nothing like that. And I remember there was a time the only thing on my mind was to be a football player, professional. I won't lie. To the point that I tried to convince my dad for me to play football. He refused to. A family friend told my dad, "Have you ever seen your son play football? Come and my dad refused to come."
and Ariza was a baller.
He refused. Like, it was that bad. You know what he told me? That he doesn't want anything to affect my academics. Okay, I'm doing well in academics, but at least come and watch me play football. At least he refused.
Yeah.
So I think it's good that or we can actually create that hopefully right now because I don't know what the structure is like now in Nigeria. But it's good to create that structure where young children are given the chance to go into sports, piano, keyboard, music, different things, because their own thing. Because I feel like this life, at the end of the day, you'll be happy doing what you are talented in. That's what I believe.
Yes.
You'll be happy doing what you're talented. If your talent is drawing, trust me, no matter how much you become maybe a scientist, I think at the end of the day, you drive more pressure and satisfaction at the end of the day to drawing. Maybe you learn to draw into science or medicine. They must, because most people tend to find that link between what they are passionate about and their once they find that link, I think they become happier. That's what I think. But let's move it back now. In terms of competition, what's your thoughts on competition in romantic relationships compared to platonic relationships?
So hold on, are you talking about like two people competing for one person?
Yeah, assuming a guy and a girl are in a relationship, or two people are in a relationship and they're competing with each other, or just friends, platonic relationship friends, just competing. What do you how do you see that?
So I think there's a problem when people like in a romantic relationship are competing with each other.
It's a problem, right?
I think there's a problem because you should be competing. If there's any competition, you're competing against other people.
It should be against the world,
against the world, not amongst yourself. But for platonic, for like normal like friendships, like there's competition, right? Like let's say, okay, Irene and I we've been friends for like from primary school, secondary school, university, and then I'm in Nigeria starting my residence, and Irene is in the UK doing his electric and he's doing well, doing his masters and then PhD. I'm like, dude, what are you doing in Nigeria? Like, you gotta like, level up, start looking for new opportunities. That's why you see like peers, like for example now, like I had like a colleague when I was in Nigeria, like residency, like he's seen me, you're in America, you're doing residency and all that. Guess what they're asking me?
How can they come up?
Exactly, you show me the way, right? Because you've seen someone that you were competing with back home is now like,
doing well for himself.
And you know that if this guy can do this, I can do this well. It's just like get the opportunity.
Yeah.
And guess what? They can do it.
Yeah.
So going about it the right way, would you like, I see you're doing this, can you help me out? Yeah, sure. I'm the kind of guy that I'm always gonna like what other people to win with me. There's plenty of room in
there's space for everybody.
There's space for everybody, right? So come over and then do well for yourself, right? Like, so show them the way. This is how to study for the exam. These are the exams you need to take. This is what you got to do and all that. And then they come up and they can do it. Yeah. I don't have any doubt in my mind that they can do it because I know I know what they're capable of doing. Like, so like that's it. That's like early competition. Like when it can help you to like level up. And then when you come over here, you shouldn't be like, oh, I'm not here and I'm gonna like look down on you or whatever. No, you still become like friends to like, and also like try to like lift ourselves up. But the problem, especially among our Nigerian people, like if you come to America, right, where do you have most Nigerians? Houston, Texas, right?
Yeah.
What they do there is they compete against each other. Like, oh, my wife is the best. I have more money than my house is bigger than yours. I'm living in a more like fancy or posh neighborhood, right? My kids are going to like Harvard.
Yeah.
Princeton. Your kids are going to like local schools, right?
Yeah.
So at what end you want to like when it comes to like village meeting, you can celebrate like your child's graduation and invite somebody. My child graduated from medical school from Harvard. Invite to a big bash and then just to like make people
that
you're better than them, right? That's what it is. Meanwhile, you can develop a long mass tomorrow or like heart failure tomorrow, and then that's it. Like it's finished. So that's why I think like some Nigerians like compete like especially like those friends or peers, like I'm better than you, I'm doing better than you and all that. Meanwhile, we can all coexist together.
It's good that
I wish that the first sin, the first murder that occurred on earth was because of competition.
Envy.
Let's say competition, like both of you, like I know the story of Kene and I, like both of them brothers, like brothers that grew up together. Just imagine you and your brother, right?
Yeah.
You know how close you're with tricks and right. Imagine like how somebody you grew up with and then you're competing and then jealousy and envy drove you to commit the first act of like, you know what I'm saying, right? You cannot even fathom that, but
that's why I don't even like the competition, especially in a family, because it creates a toxic environment, whether you like it. To help anybody. I don't honestly. That's who I am. But the thing is, You mentioned something that's happening in America. You mentioned something in America, but I noticed sometimes you help people and then they start competing with you. And they still feel like, maybe one they feel like they are now well placed. They start trying as much as possible to one up you. You'll be shocked. You start asking yourself, see this is trouble. But you, when you were helping them, you did not lie to them. You gave them real information that will help their lives. But for some reason, once they feel like they're in a bit of, they start holding information to make sure you're not better than them. They start doing this, they start doing that. And then it gets so blindsided that it becomes upsetting.
Yeah. Yes. So I'll give you an example. Like, right.
Yeah.
Like I have like someone that was, I don't want to mention who they are. Like they kind of like had a friend that was like, oh, they helped to hook them up to who they got married to. Right. This like two of them are like the same age. You know. I mean, if somebody is old enough to marry, then the other person probably like old enough to marry too, right?
Yeah.
And when one friend helped the other one to get married, you know, like hook them up to someone.
Yeah.
Now they're like saying like, oh, like treating her like she's like an outsider, like yo, like you can't even like help yourself out and all that. So it's kind of like
you can't help yourself out. That's what they said. Wow.
Yes. So imagine that kind of thing happens to you, and then someone else asking you for help again. It affects you psychologically. So it takes a strong mind to be able to just say, hey, this is who I am. I like helping people out there, regardless of what happens afterwards. Like, you know, and sometimes it comes back to bite you hard in a very, very bad way. Like it leaves a bad taste in your mouth.
Yeah.
And then you think twice about helping people out again, you know, in the future.
Yeah.
You know, so
no, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Because I know at some point, I became a little bit what's the word you use now? I became almost
indifferent
to helping people. But at some point, I thought about it and I realized, man, I like helping people. And but because the kind of person I am, you mentioned this thing, like some people, once they help you, they think they are better than you for help. Yeah. In your head, you're like, okay, the person you mentioned just introduced somebody to get married. So why is the person now thinking because he introduced the person to get married, that means he or she is better than the person? Why?
Yeah.
You see, but that's what life should be about, like helping each other. But for some reason, some people think once they. So at the point, I started asking myself, is it a bad thing to actually help people? I won't lie. I've asked myself this question because sometimes the more you help people, it's as if they now turn around and start competing against you. Or they start doing something that would just annoy you to the marrow. You start asking yourself, if I was indifferent or mean or to this person from the get-go, would I have been better? You start asking yourself a lot of questions.
Yeah. So
but that links me to my next question. So what's actually the difference between healthy and unhealthy competition?
So I mean, I feel like we're both professionals. Like healthy means productive, like, you know, and my healthy means productive, unhealthy means counterproductive. I'll give examples. The things you actually mentioned, like, okay, let's say in sports, right? Like, okay, let's take Premier League for example, right?
Yeah.
Sir Ferguson was tearing up the whole Premier League, right, for years and years and years.
Yeah.
Like, beating Arsenal at 7-0, like 7-0 at one point. It's just like, you know, steady, you know. But what happened? You know, Abramovich came, right? Put in money. Why? He wants to beat Alex Ferguson, you know. Invested money. Chelsea came, won Premier League twice, right?
Yeah.
And then Man U, it was kind of like it also between Manchester United and Chelsea, you know, who will win the league. Yeah. And then guess what happened? Man City, the noisy boss, like, you know, they go butt to butt, and then Pep came, and you know what Pep has done, right?
Yeah.
So what's happening now? Chelsea's people are spending money to buy players, right? Everybody's trying to level up. Competition is bringing. That's why Premier League is said to be the best league in the entire world. Why? Because of the internal competition that happens there.
So do you think
in general, it's for us the fans? It's good for us the fans because we enjoy seeing like that competition, like that competition. And then
entertainment. Yeah.
When you now take that to Europe, you now see that for the past how many years you see like English team making it out of the group stage. It's just like it's a given, like, you know. So that's what competition does, right? Healthy competition.
Yeah.
Now, let me give you another example of healthy competition. Like, look at like competition between like Apple and Samsung, right?
Yeah.
You know, both of them, they've given each other to the point, like, you know, like, if this one comes out with this feature, like, this one's coming out again, you know. So it elevates the world, and the entire society like benefits from whatever is coming out, ingenuity, like inventions and everything. So I think that's healthy. But unhealthy competition means like when I am sabotaging somebody to advance myself, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Let's say that both of us are vying for the same post in that. Maybe you are vying for the same post, and I lead to the press that you maybe you did something 20 years ago. You know, and then I think
but we saw something similar during the World Cup, if you remember.
Example, like wow.
I can't remember the coach of American football team.
Oh yes.
Because he didn't play Renner. Renner's parents, Claudio Renner and the mom, leaked something about the coach and the wife because they've been friends for years. About the press. That was really, really shocking for people who have been friends for years. So for someone to do that.
Yeah. So that's why you see like on all the competition, like people trying to like get one on someone to take over. If you're competing with someone, I feel like you cannot do anything based on your performance or your like skills or work ethic to kind of like you know,
just working against that particular person.
Start working again to bring them down. So anytime you see yourself trying to bring someone down for you to elevate, then that's completely unhealthy competition, you know. And then it happens everywhere. You see like kids, like it's just like a basic, like, you know, I feel like it's a basic instinct of man, right? Because like the basic instinct is like take away your competition, take them away, and then you're the only one there to shine. It takes development and maturity to see that, hey, like there's a better way to compete, you know. You're competing like, you know, healthily, like, you know, to for example, like for the longest time they'll say that nobody can run a mile less than 4 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
I remember then once the first person did that, guess what happened? People started breaking the same rule, you know. So it was all in the mind.
It's all in the mind.
Yes, this cannot be done, this cannot be done. But when it's done, you know, people say, oh, it can't be done, you cannot do it. So I feel like, and also like if you're in a position to like, let's say you're you're a professor in the college, like you now, like, you know, like you have a team that you're working on, that you have a way of creating an environment that promotes healthy competition. Yeah. Right. So that nobody feels that for me to advance, I have to like bring someone down. Yeah. Or like
I don't really believe in that actually. Yeah. I think it's all about believing in your own source. But I think what the world in general, to be honest, actually promotes competition. That's why people start backbiting against each other to get promotion and do all sorts of things. Yeah. But because the society has ingrained on most of us, or I don't know why, but that competition actually to one up someone. Everything is about you tell someone, oh, I just bought a new car. The person will tell, oh, you just bought, which can do by Hyundai? Oh, I bought a Maserati. Immediately, the person cannot even be happy for you to say, oh, I'm happy you bought that's a lovely car. No, he's trying as much as possible to one up against you. Come on. Yeah. I don't think anybody enjoys being around that kind of person. No. Maybe they lie to themselves, but deep down, I know I don't. I want to be around people I'm comfortable with. To tell my friend, oh, I just got this. The person will be happy for me, and I will be happy for you. So, how do you think we can actually ensure that competition remains healthy?
Well, I feel like it takes conscious effort to actually like put like, you know, you find yourself, because sometimes you find yourself thinking some certain way, you know. As long as you don't act on those thoughts, right? Like then I think you have like you've actually like a certain of like, you know, control over like how you react when you're competing with someone for something. Yeah. And also sometimes, like it's mentioned, like the society is designed in a way like that, you know, like makes people feel like, oh, I have to be the best to be recognized or something, you know. I have to be the best, you know. And it takes number one. Okay, for example, let's say I have like a hospital or whatever, right? I'm doing employee of the month, right? It's a normal thing in workplaces, right?
Yeah.
So, let's say I do like best employee for this. So just spread it out round, So like there's not one category, there's lots of categories, right?
Yeah.
And then the reward will not be so like exalted that for example, like let's say it may be like you get like a parking space for like just like 1 month or so. I don't know whatever they do, like, but something not like too much that will make people feel like I'm losing out if I don't get this,
Yeah.
I'm losing out. If people know that, what's he getting? Just something like that. But then, next month you have the opportunity to like, also level up too. So it kind of makes me dynamic, in a way that, okay, let's take politics for example in Nigeria. You know how it is. Winner takes all.
Yeah.
If people now compete and do all sorts of things to get ahead, but if the world was not so like exalted or so too much, I feel like people will be like, okay, I mean, I'm competing, but if I don't win, it's not the end of the world. Yeah, but you also have to make it in such a way that it doesn't make people to not like want to better themselves. Because that's the side, that's like the thing that could happen in that kind of system. But I feel like number one, it takes you personally to decide not to compete in an unhealthy way. Number two, the environment you find yourself in should have like rules or like how they add to foster like healthy competition among like workers or students or people, and then three, there's always going to be there's always going to be someone that doesn't care. They compete dirty or nasty, So I mean, I'll ask you this thing, like, do you think social media has multiplied the competition among
definitely
and what kind of
definitely, and but everybody that knows me knows I don't really post on social media. I may be in Marseille or Barcelona. I won't post it after 2 months when I'm back. I will lie. Why? Because whether you like it or not, there's someone out there looking at it like you haven't done anything to the person. I'm not saying you should live for people. So what is Kene even feeling like?
Yeah, what does it even feel like? What does it even feel like?
What is Kene feeling like? You want to show you're doing well for yourself. You haven't done anything to this person.
Yeah.
But it can create this envy and jealousy to the person. Can actually, some people they have that evil streak in them to actually go out of their way to mess up your life. You don't know.
That's true.
Call just to, because they can't hold in their jealousy and envy to actually call someone to just, maybe you're going for a promotion or something, just to block your path.
Yes.
People are like that. I'm sorry, but I used to think everybody was clean-hearted, but no. People are like that. So
yes.
Realize it is social media, because maybe in their heads, maybe they've told themselves, and this is one thing I adopted. This is one thing I adopted. It's funny, but it's the truth. When I talk to people, I talk to them as if I'm a dummy. I'm not smart. I won't like do it. I'm not smart. So most of the time, I'm the one asking them questions. I'm listening to what they have to say. I'm listening. I may not say anything. If they talk about maybe this, I've told them, I've never heard of it. Babe, this babe, no, like like anything to make sure that they are up and down. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So one day, my one lecturer called me and told me, why do I do that? That he knows I got the best score in that particular course when I was doing my master's. Do you know what I told him? I'm used to envy. I don't need it anymore in my life. And honestly, deep down, I don't, because it is not fun for people. Like, if you see somebody is competing and trying to drag you down, it's not fun.
It's not fun. Yeah, it's
not fun. So I would rather tell the person, if I just notice that person has that streak in him or her, I'd rather tell the person, you did this, or more. Hopefully, I'll get my own. No? Let the person feel good that he has it and I don't have it. It's okay. I don't mind. Even though deep down, you have it. See what I mean?
Yeah. So sometimes you allow your work, but you know what? Like, there are times that some people you cannot help, like you cannot help them, like they are not, like you said, they have the evil streak in them.
Yeah.
They actually look out for your, like let's say
Downfall.
They will go out and look, seek that information, find it and find out, oh, this guy got this score. That's not good. Actually, you didn't even tell them, but they are finding things behind your back. and without your knowing, they want to bring you down.
Let me take you back. To shock you now. I would have used an example of my life, but I'll use yours because at least we lived that. I saw it firsthand. You remember when you guys were in medicine? Once the second MB, once the result is based, everybody's there looking. They are not even checking to see who passed. Some are there to just see who failed. Like, think about it. So we're not there to see, oh, this person failed, and they're happy to talk about it.
Yeah, that's true.
I wasn't in your class, but I could see that, and it was. It's something I've never done in my life to go and check this person's score. But I saw people do that to other people. They just wanted to check. Oh, is this guy that feels a fine boy? Let's see if he passed. No, am I lying? Think about it. They just want there to check if you fail, not if you pass. So they don't want you to pass. They just want you to fail, and they are so happy.
Yes.
He's so full of himself. Let's see how he's going to pass.
Yes. Some people see how you walk, see like he feels so composed. Do you know how many times I've heard that in in my life? Meanwhile, when I'm walking, I'm not even conscious of how I walk. Like your gait is developed at a very young age. You're not even consciously thinking about it. Like maybe you're walking, you're thinking about like how do I solve my problem? And people are busy thinking, look at how he's walking.
You are thinking about I think we have a similar because do you know how many times I've heard Arinze is too proud? Like even though at that point I may be thinking about something else, and the thing is sometimes or maybe I've already envisaged this is going to happen and this is going to cause trouble. I just keep quiet. Then you keeping quiet, the person now saying who does he think he is? He doesn't want to say anything. But I've already envisaged this thing. If I say anything, it may be taken out of context and we'll have issues. Or more, just shut up. But so all I'm trying to say is no matter what you do, it's going to be a problem. So you have to find a way to tell yourself that and the point I'm trying to make is that we have people who have evil streak in them, whether you want to accept it or not.
Yeah.
So it's good for you to know how to balance that competition. Try as much as possible to be better. Push people around you to be better because the sky is like everybody can be successful. Everybody can be happy. That's what I believe.
Yes.
But if you see somebody has that evil streak and then envious, trying as much as possible to pull you down, I don't think you keep that person in your circle, would you?
No, definitely no. You have to keep them to the curb, man.
Yeah, no, I don't think you keep that person in your circle because you know that if there's any what's it called? Any opportunity coming, that comes their way, maybe that you guys will link up. I don't think the person will call you anyway.
Yeah.
The person will never call you because the person wants to make sure that they are always up and you are down.
Yeah.
But anyway, because of time, we're let me ask you one final question.
Yeah.
So let's say you have a son or a daughter today now.
Mm-hmm.
What advice would you give them in terms about competition in sports, life in general? What advice would you give him or her?
Well, I'll let them know that number one, you're created in the image of God, you know. So you have everything within you to be great, right?
Yeah.
And then two, your greatness does not have to come out by smearing or
pulling down others.
Pulling down somebody else. That's number two. Number three, there's room. It can be lonely at the top if you're
the only one that's successful.
You're the only one successful, not more. Number two, there's definitely room for more people like at the top. Number three, know that no matter how good you are, there are people that will always see, will want to pull you down and see something with you. And don't allow yourself be sucked into into getting the kids pie with them or exchanging blows. Just know that this is who they are and then just discard them and then move on with your life, right? So those are the things I'll tell them, and and also we reassure them all the time that you're good at this, you're good. Just you keep on telling them, and then so they believe whatever, and they actually have greatness in them,
Yeah.
I think that's what we owe to our kids.
Yeah, you're right. I believe the most important trait you can give a child is confidence and self-esteem.
Yeah.
That's what I give. People, and when you are confident, you have to make ourselves, children, to be confident enough, have a self-esteem to the point that when people start attacking them, because trust me, if you're confident, they will attack you more. Once they start attacking you, understand that the person projecting their insecurities onto you. And like you said, do not go into this battle of back and forth, bad boots with them. Nonsense. Yeah. That's what the person wants. That's what's going to make the person comfortable. Rather than their face. Laugh. It pisses the person off more. But it's better for you to laugh and not get angry than allow the person to upset you. Because once the person upsets you, if you're a creative person, you will stop being creative because the battle is in your mind. It will affect your creativity. Try as much as possible. Just tune it out, laugh it off. That negative energy the person is trying to transfer to you, the negative energy stays with the person. Stays with the person and not you. So you can actually have enough mental space to actually be creative and think out meaningful things.
Yeah.
But anyway, on that note, this is where we're going to round off for today. Thank you so much, Dr. Kene, for coming on to the show.
Yeah, it was my pleasure. We should do this more times. It was really nice chatting with you and catching up.
I hope you enjoyed.
Yeah, sure, definitely. It was a pleasure. Yeah,
definitely. We'll do more episodes.
All right.
Thank you so much.
All right, thanks for having me.
All right.